William here with Patriot Containers. Yesterday I made two videos talking about 20-foot containers. This is common basic information on, and yesterday's videos was, one video was 20 footers and then also a different video was 40 footers. Those are the most two common sizes that if you're looking to keep costs down, just stick with those sizes. I get a lot of calls for people that want 10 footers. The first thing out of my mouth, I ask, why can't you use a 20 footer? And there's a big reason for that. It's the 20 footer is going to be the cheapest container you can buy for your storage solutions. People think that they don't need a 20 footer and a 10 footer is going to be cheaper. Some people have very, very limited space and a 20 footer is just too big. When you get quoted a 20 footer and a 10 footer, it's almost 100% of the time that 10-foot container is going to be way more expensive than a used or a new 20 footer. And there's specific reasons why. I always feel like 1 out of 10 people cannot use a 20 footer. 9 out of 10 people can. They just think 10 footers are cheaper and they don't want the 20-foot container. 9 times out of 10, once they get quoted the price for a 10 footer and a 20 footer, they take the 20 footer going, I'll make room. Here's why. There's only 2 ways to get a 10-foot cargo container. You either have to take a bigger container and cut it down to size and weld it back together. So if you have a 20-foot container that has cargo doors here, and then this end is shut, you chop it in the middle. The one with cargo doors is going to get an end cap. So now you're going to have a 10-foot container with cargo doors. This end on this one that has no doors now and only has an opening, that one will get a roll-up door. The labor that it takes to make that container takes the 20 footer and then just drives it up. I've sold many 10 footers over the years. Obviously, I've sold more 20 footers, probably thousands and thousands of 20 footers. Now, if you don't make a used one, how do you get a 10 footer? Well, they have what's called a 20-foot dual con, it's the shape of a 20-foot container, but it's 2 10 footers that come overseas and they're welded together and both of them have cargo doors. So when they make it to America, they cut the welds and now you have 2 new one-trip 10 footers that are made. That's going to come with a hefty price because it's not a common container. Ironically, if I buy a brand new 10 footer, a one-trip 10 footer from either the shipping lines or the depots, and then compare it to the price of a used one that's manufactured out of a bigger container, the price is very, very similar. You will save some money on a used one that's made for you, but if it was my container, I'd just pay a little bit more and get a brand new one and call it a day. But that's up to the customers. I've made 10 footers in many, many, many locations. I almost think it's 100% of the time when you take a used container that's in good condition, by the way, and you cut it in half and you manufacture a 10-foot cargo container, I think every location paints the outside and inside. So you can get a really nice looking used container that's painted inside and outside, and it's going to look amazing. Just kind of like if you painted a used container. A good used container does not need a paint job. It only needs a paint job if you want it to be in a specific color that a used container is most likely not going to be the color that you want. But if you paint a good used container, it looks that much better. If you paint a horrible container, it's going to look like crap and the paint's not going to stick and you're going to have constant problems with excessive rust. But yeah, with the 10 footers, they are always more expensive than 20 footers. So when people call me, I've even had people on the phone go, I do not have room for a 20 footer. I have to take the 10 footer. And I go, okay, well, I'm going to quote you both anyways. And then they buy the 20 footer and they go, well, I'll make room for it because now I'm getting twice the size of the container for less money. Um, but anyways, that's it, guys. 10-foot cargo containers. You could do two on a 20-foot trailer. You could do four of them. I think I've actually delivered four 20-footer or four 10-footers on a 40-foot trailer and had them delivered that way. So anyways, guys, that's some common information about 10-foot containers. They're never cheaper than 20-footers. I understand if you have to have that small container. We can manufacture them for you, or we can sell you a new one if it's available. Sometimes they are not available, and you must make it out of a bigger container. So, and I'm going to include some pictures after this of some 10-footers that I've sold that are on my phone that are already sold, but they all always look the same. So anyways, guys, here's the pictures.